Hi, Dyslexic Genius here. I'm going to talk about the assembly of the Pathe reproducer, but I'm going to talk you through it. There's a few things you have to do before assembly. On assembly, you have the screws here, and you can see the end of this screw is boogered up and rusted. But on this screw, I've polished the end out and the point right here.
How'd you polish it?
I put it in the lathe, but you can do this in your drill, and just a little bit of 600 sandpaper on that edge at the same angle while it's spinning. You want to just clean this up a little, because that little point is going to fit in that little hole. So you're going to put this needle bar into the reproducer, and this screw is going to come through both of them, both sides, and you have to hit that little bitty hole where this rests. But before you do that, you're going to clean everything up, and you're going to put the screw in the hole. And now you're going to wiggle and make sure that the point of this screw is hitting that hole and it's tight. Some people assemble these, they take them apart and they miss the hole. Then you'll have a little burr up here on the edge and stuff. I had that on here. So if that happens, you take the little center drill and you just lightly just do a little turn. That's all, very, very lightly. And then it hits, and you can feel that that side's tight and that side's tight. Now what you do is I put a very minute drop of oil on the screw, and then I run the nut back and forth up and down the threads, because this is going to help on assembly, because you're going to put two of these in here. You're going to put the needle bar in, and now you're going to screw these two screws in to hit both sides of the little hole. And this takes some time. You might have to use a magnifying glass. I have to. And then you can see here how easily the net works back and forth. And that's to help you in adjustment. You don't want any end, this end or this end, hitting this part of the reproducer over here. It has to float in the middle. Then you're going to cut your first set of gasket material, and you're going to lay it down in the back, press it down, and then make sure that it has a good seal like this. You don't want to have it coming together like this, which is good, but then when it's sitting in the reproducer, it's like that, or it's like this, or it's like this. You want it to sit in. So you'll put the first one in, then you will rotate up the needle bar, you put on the diaphragm and the little screw on the back, and you'll tighten it up, but not tight all the way. You're just going to have a little bit. Then you're going to roll it over and it'll pop in, and you want to make sure that the mica is hitting in the middle of the gasket material over here.
Okay, so you put one roll of gasket material, then you put on the mica, and then you
lower it into the reproducer, and now you'll put in.
And then do you put the little screw in from the
front
or
yeah,
from the back?
From the back. So the needle bar will be up like this. You'll put the mica on like that.
Okay.
You will take the little screw you don't want to lose, through the hole into the needle bar.
From that side of
from the back side of the mica.
Okay.
After you're done with that, you will start. You can see I have a nice seal right here. There's the line. You will roll this over, and now this is the side of the reproducer here, and my fist is the gasket material, and it has to come in here like that. So what you're going to do, you're just going to kind of push down with your fingers and rotate this stuff in, pushing it in all the way around. Going all the way, all the way, all the way, all the way around. Now you're going to have your gasket material hanging out here, and you're going to go, I have to trim some off. You want to trim a little bit more than you need, because when you roll this in, it's going to kind of shrink up than what you think. So you add a little more, and you'll see, you'll tuck it in, and there might be a little bulge like this. So if you put it together, it's like that, that's a good sign, because now you'll work all that back up in here. And after you've worked it all in with your fingers,
so you leave a little bit more
leave
than you think you need.
A little bit more than you think you need. Then when you're done, hear this? That sounds really good. And then what I did is I took this, you see I polished this out in the previous video. I bolted this all together. I put it on my lips like this, and I did a blow test, and I had no air leaks. Now what you have to do is you have to wax this in. The easiest way to wax it in, we always use beeswax, and I've had this for a gazillion years, this chunk, when I was building model cars at 12. I took my soldering iron and I made a point on the end here. This piece unscrews, and I made a little point on the end. And then what you do is you heat up. See how that melts? I'm going to take this and come over and go run that little bead just like that. And just do a little dabby, dabby, dabby. And then you can just rotate the reproducer. Now you hear the sound of that? That thing sounds good. This way you can just add very little wax to it. Wax the top. And there it's waxed, perfect. Then you just rotate this over, and we'll do the same thing. We'll come in like this, straight on, or run the wax around it. We're using the melted wax on the tip to dribble on the side.
So that secures any air leaks?
This secures any air leaks. You don't need a lot of wax, but originally these were waxed. I'm coating the top of the screw. I'm running that around the edge there. Perfect. Now all you do, put this piece on. Put a little dab of oil on it, because one day you're going to want to take this apart. Just give it a light tightness. You don't want to crank hard on these. Both the same tension. Wipe off a little bit we had on there. This sounds perfect. No oil, and that's how you do it. That's how you rebuild a Pathe reproducer. A little complicated in parts with the 2 pins and the needle bar, but other than that, it's basically the same like a Columbia. And that's my tip for the day.